In this lecture, we will discuss the important theorem. Suppose Fn, suppose Fn is a sequence of measurable functions which converges in measure to a limit function f on a measurable set E, then there exists a subsequence Fnr of the sequence Fn such that Fnr is also converges to F almost everywhere on E. What is the statement says? Suppose Fn is a sequence of measurable function which converges in measure to F. Then there exists a subsequence which converges to F almost everywhere. In the last lecture we have discussed some note points, and we have created an example in which convergence in measure does not imply that it should converges to a function, but this theorem says that there exists a subsequence which converges to F almost everywhere. Let r greater than 0 be an integer, means a positive natural number. What is the given? Since the sequence Fn converges in measure to F, that is, for any epsilon, that is 1 by 2 to the power of r, which is greater than 0, there exists a natural number nr such that measure of the set all those elements of E such that modulus of Fn of x minus f of x is greater than or equal to 1 by 2 to the power of r is less than 1 by 2 to the power of r for all n greater than or equal to n r. This one I wrote from the definition of convergence in measure. In particular, taking n is equal to nr, we get measure of the set all those elements of E such that modulus of Fnr of x minus f of x is greater than or equal to 1 by 2 to the power of r is less than 1 by 2 to the power of r. Let us take equation number 1. Let us take this set as ER. ER is equal to x such that modulus of Fnr of x minus f of x is greater than or equal to 1 by 2 to the power of r. Since each and every term of the sequence is measurable and limit function is also a measurable, difference of these two is also measurable, then this set is a measurable set. Then ER is a measurable set with, what is the measure of ER we got here? Measure of ER is less than 1 by 2 to the power of r. Equation number 2. Now we define a sequence of sets AK as AK is equal to union R is equal to K to infinity ER. Since each and every ER is a measurable set, countable union of measurable set is measurable, then each AK is a measurable set. Since countable union of measurable sets is measurable. Also we have A1 is containing A2, A2 is containing A3, so on, with measure of A1 is finite. How I am saying this one? Since what is A1? A1 is E1 union, E2 union, so on. What is A2? A2 starts from 2, that is E2 union, E3 union, so on. This is a subset of this one, A3 is a subset of A2, so on. Therefore what you will get, A1, A2, so on, all are the subsets of this one. Now then, by the known result we have proved in the first unit, we get that hence by a known result we get measure of integration k is equal to 1 to infinity ak is equal to limit k tends to infinity measure of ak, equation number 3, by a known result. Now let us take this intersection as capital A. Let capital A is equal to intersection k is equal to 1 to infinity ak. Then equation number 3 implies what? Equation number 3, measure of A is equal to limit k tends to infinity measure of ak, measure of ak. Now let FNR. What is FNR? According to this NR, we got this one, collection of all this FNR, which is nothing but is a subsequence of Fn. Now I have to prove that this subsequence converges to F almost everywhere. Almost everywhere. To prove the theorem, it is sufficient to prove that FNR of x converges to f of x for all x does not belongs to A and measure of A is equal to 0. Means Fn of R converges to F for all x does not belongs to A whose measure is 0. Therefore Fn of R converges to F almost everywhere. Almost everywhere. So what is A? A is this one. So let us take, let x does not belongs to AK for some k. For some k. Then x does not belongs to, what is AK? AK is union R is equal to k to infinity ER. Then x does not belongs to union R is equal to k to infinity ER. X does not belongs to the union means x does not belongs to any of the ER. This implies x does not belongs to ER for all those R which are greater than or equal to k. X does not belongs to ER If x belongs to ER, then it satisfies this condition, but x does not belongs to ER, then it not satisfying this condition. Means modulus of FNR of x minus f of x is less than 1 by 2 to the power of r for all NR greater than or equal to k. This one I can say by equation number 2, this one. Now since 1 by 2 to the power of r tends to 0 as r tends to infinity, r tends to infinity. As r tends to infinity, this one tends to 0, therefore this one approaches to f of x. Therefore what we will get, FNR of x tends to f of x as r tends to infinity. Equation number 4. Equation number 4. When if x does not belongs to ak, this one converges to f of x. Now let x does not belongs to ak for some k. For some k. If x does not belongs to ak, means x does not belongs to intersection also. What is the meaning of intersection? It should be a common in all the sets. If x does not belong to at least one set, then it is not in the intersection. Then x does not belongs to intersection k is equal to 1 to infinity ak. But what is this one? A. This implies x does not belongs to a. Equation number 5. Now from 4 and 5, what we got? From 4 and 5 we get, if x does not belongs to ak, then it satisfies. If x does not belongs to ak, then x does not belongs to a. Therefore modulus of FNR of x minus f of x tends to 0 as r tends to infinity for all x does not belongs to a. For all x does not belongs to a. Now we have to prove one more thing. This one completed, this one completed. Now we have to prove measure of a is 0. Measure of a is 0. Now we prove measure of a is equal to 0. Measure of a is equal to 0. Consider measure of ak. What is ak? Union r is equal to k to infinity er. From the countable subadditivity property, this one is less than or equal to summation r is equal to k to infinity measure of er. Measure of er. But from equation number 2, measure of er is less than summation r is equal to k to infinity 1 by 2 to the power of r by equation number 2. By equation number 2. What is this one? 1 by 2 to the power of k plus 1 by 2 to the power of k plus 1 plus so on. I am going to take 1 by 2 to the power of k common. 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 square plus so on. 1 by 2 to the power of k a by 1 minus r, that is 1 by 1 minus 1 by 2, which is equal to 1 by 2 to the power of k into 2, which is equal to 1 by 2 to the power of k minus 1. This one tends to 0 as k tends to infinity. Therefore measure of ak tends to 0 as k tends to infinity. What is this one? That is limit k tends to infinity, measure of ak is equal to 0. This implies measure of a is equal to 0, since measure of a is equal to limit k tends to infinity measure of ak. Therefore what we got? Therefore f and r converges to f almost everywhere on E. Almost everywhere on E. Functions of bounded variation. Let R be any real number, then maximum of r comma 0 is equal to r if r is greater than or equal to 0, 0 if r is less than or equal to 0. Similarly, what is minimum of r comma 0? Minimum of r comma 0 is 0 if r is greater than or equal to 0, r if r is less than or equal to 0. Then what is r plus? R plus is the maximum of r comma 0. R minus is minimum of r comma 0, minimum of this two, or r minus is the modulus of minimum of r comma 0, modulus of minimum of r comma 0. Here r plus comma r minus are non-negative, known as positive part of R and negative part of R. Already we have discussed in the first unit. The same definition I am writing here respectively. Note, first one, R plus is non-negative as well as R minus is also non-negative. Second one, R can be written as R plus minus R minus. Third one, modulus of R can be written as R plus plus R minus. R plus plus R minus. Now, important definitions. Already they have asked lot of time for the short questions. Let f be a real valued function defined on the interval close interval a comma b. Let p is equal to a is equal to x naught comma x1 comma so on xn minus 1 comma xn is equal to b be a partition of close interval a comma b such that a is equal to x naught is less than x1 less than so on less than xn minus 1 less than xn which is equal to b, the positive variation sum of f, positive variation sum of f with respect to the partition, with respect to this partition P, is denoted by Pf of P or only this P. This one we call as positive variation sum of f with respect to the partition P, and it is defined as P is equal to summation I is equal to 1 to n modulus f of xi minus f of xi minus 1. Yes. Positive part of this one. Now similarly the negative variation sum of f with respect to the partition P, with respect to the partition P is denoted by small n f of P, or only small n, and is defined as small n is equal to summation I is equal to 1 to n negative part of f of xi minus f of xi minus 1, xi minus 1. The total variation sum of f, the total variation sum of f with respect to the partition P is denoted by small t f of P, or small t, and is defined as t is equal to summation I is equal to 1 to n modulus of f of xi minus f of xi minus 1. These are the definition of positive variation sum of f. That is, positive variation sum of f is denoted by small p, or this one is summation positive part of f of xi minus f of xi minus 1. Negative part of this one is nothing but negative variation sum. Modulus of this one is nothing but total variation sum of f. Now the supremum of all such positive variation sums, supremum of all the positive variation sums over all the partition P is called positive variation of f on closed interval a comma b, and it is denoted by capital P from a to b of f, or capital P a to b, or only capital P. That is, what is capital P? Capital P is supremum of all the positive variation sums, supremum of all the positive variation sums over all the partitions small p, over all the partitions small p. Now the supremum of all such negative variation sums is called negative variation of f on closed interval a comma b, and is denoted by capital N a to b of f, or capital N a to b, or capital N. That is, what is capital N? Supremum of all the negative variation sums over all the partition P. The supremum of all such total variation sums is called total variation of f on closed interval a comma b, and is denoted by capital T a to b of f, or capital T a to b, or capital T. That is, capital T is the supremum of all the total variation sums over all the partition P, where the supremum is taken over all the partitions of closed interval a comma b, Now, if the total variation of f, that is T a to b of f, is finite, then f is said to be a function of bounded variation on closed interval a comma b, and we write f belongs to BV of closed interval a comma b. Therefore, what we have discussed, let f be a real valued function defined on the interval P is any partition. According to this partition, I am taking the sum of the positive parts of f of xi minus f of xi minus 1, and it is denoted by P, that is the positive variation sum of f. If I take the negative part of sum of negative part of f of xi minus 1, this one is called the negative variation sum. The total variation sum of f with respect to this partition is summation modulus of f of xi minus f of xi minus 1. Now, for different partitions, for all the partitions, I am going to find the positive variation sum, and taking the supremum of all this one, supremum of all the positive variation sums is called the positive variation of f on closed interval a comma b, and it is denoted by capital P, that is supremum of all the positive variation sum over all the partition. Supremum of all the negative variation sum is called the negative variation of f, and it is denoted by capital M. Supremum of all the total variation sum is called the total variation of f. Now, if this total variation of f is finite, then f is said to be a function of bounded variation. Then we write f belongs to collection of all the bounded variation of closed interval a comma b.